welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this eye look right here using the new Jackie Aina Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I love Jackie, so I was super excited to see that this palette was coming out, and it's just a stunning palette. So I'm not going to talk about the palette too much right now because I do talk about it a lot during the video. So if you guys want to see how I got this look right here, then just keep on watching. Alright, so I went ahead and did one eye off camera just to kind of figure out what I was doing, and it got a little bit more dramatic than I kind of intended for it, but I'm definitely here for it. It's a whole lot of lash for a Tuesday afternoon. But for the eyes, I'm using the new Jackie Aina palette. So I'm taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer, which I'm still testing out. This is like the small version of it, but I mean it works well. Like, you know, my eyeshadows blended perfectly fine on top of it, but I'm just trying to decide if it's anything better than like what my concealer does, you know. So I'm just taking some translucent setting powder and setting the lids. This is always the fun part, replicating exactly what I did on the other eye. On a Morphe M433 brush, I'm going to take the shade Supreme from the palette, which is this really pretty bright pink color. And I'm just getting like the smallest amount, just dipping my brush in and then really tapping it out because I'm going to be using this kind of as like my transition color. Then I'm just going to start blending that in, and I'm going to be taking it pretty high in the inner corner just because I am going to be cutting the crease later on, and my eyelids do fold over, so I definitely take my eyeshadow much higher than my natural lid. Otherwise doing a cut crease is kind of pointless for me because I'll have shadow everywhere. And then I'm just gonna build the color up in the outer corner just a little bit, nothing too intense, but just so I can use it to blend with later. So I'm taking the shade Big Wig, which is this deep purple color. And I'm building this up very slow, like just getting like really small amounts and patting that on and then blending that out because these shades are very pigmented. And I keep going back into that Supreme shade and just using that to kind of help buff all of this out too. Now those two shades are blended out, I'm going to go ahead and cut my crease. Just taking my Tarte Shape Tape to do that. And I'm going to be using a Morphe M213 brush to cut my crease. And like I said, with my crease, because you can see my eye folds over here, I take it above the fold. So basically, instead of following my natural crease, I just follow this like fold right above. So I start kind of in the inner corner and just, it also makes my eyelids look bigger. And while that is still tacky, I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Sponsored just on my finger at first and pat that onto the lid. Now that I've kind of got the majority of it on my lid with my finger, I'm gonna take it on a brush and get it around the edges. That's good. started because I am going to go in and kind of soften that line a little bit because I still want it to be a cut crease, but I want it to be like a little bit softer, like you can see on the side where it's a little bit softer. I'm going to soften that up. Alright, so now I'm going to take the shade Trust Issues just on my finger and pat that on the lid above it just to kind of lighten this shade up. Alright, so my camera died, but what I did was I took Trust Issues on a wet brush and just patted that over my lid. And then now I'm just going back in and touching everything up and making sure everything's nice and blended. I added just a little bit more of Supreme and Big Wig to this brush, and I'm just making sure that the inner corner is nice and blended out. Just gonna keep packing on a little bit more brown and making sure that's all nice and blended, and making sure that the seam between here is smooth. And then I am going to go in with a wipe afterwards and clean all of this up and make it sharp like it was on this side. So it doesn't matter if it's a little bit messy over there. And now I'm taking Supreme on the brush that I literally just used Supreme on in the beginning. It has no other colors on it as of right now. And I'm going to go over the edges of all of this just to really make sure that this is seamless. So until I do the lower lash line, I am done with the eyeshadow palette for now. So now I'm just going to go ahead and clean all of this up. Alright, so now that I've got all of that cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and apply my false lashes. I definitely feel like this lash looks higher up than the other, but whatever. Alright, so that's all for the eyes right now. I'm going to go ahead and do the face, and then I'll come back to the eyes and do the lower lash line. So I'm just taking my Versali Skin Tune Blur and putting that all over my face. Now for foundation, I actually have the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous foundation. It says it's vegan, gluten-free, alcohol-free, clinically tested, dermatologically tested, ophthalmologist tested, non-comedogenic, suitable for sensitive skin, long wearing, and no flashback. It's a medium cover foundation with a luminous natural finish. So, ideally with eye makeup like this, I would like a full coverage foundation, but we'll make it work. So I'm in the shade 1010C, which I hope is right. I have no idea how much I'm gonna need, so I'm just gonna squirt like 2 pumps onto my little thing. I can't tell, that looks like really light. That actually seems like a pretty good match. Okay, so I'm kind of have mixed feelings about this foundation right this second because it's very pretty. Like, it gives your skin a very, very pretty look, but I really, really do not like it with the side makeup. Like, I would much rather have a full coverage foundation with the side makeup just because it's so intense. So I'm gonna take some concealer and just kind of put it on places where I want a little bit more coverage. Honestly, I feel like I would like this foundation more with like a more like natural kind of everyday eye makeup. Alright, so now that I have my concealer and everything on and I have like a little bit more coverage under my eyes, which again threw me off a little bit because of the dark eye makeup, I think I like it a little bit more. But I don't know, again, I'm gonna have to keep testing the foundation. The next product I have is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Loose Setting Powder, and I got mine in the shade Vanilla. Just because I already have a million translucent powders, I really just didn't want another one right now. So I'm gonna take my Charlotte Tilbury powder to set my under eyes, just because that powder is tinted, so I don't want it to darken my concealer or anything like that. So I'm just gonna take my Charlotte Tilbury powder in Fair and set under my eyes. Alright, so I'm gonna take just my big powder brush and set the rest of my face. So I like how the powder looks. It definitely darkened my face a little bit, but honestly, once I get bronzer and stuff on, like, you won't be able to tell as much. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spray my face. So I definitely feel like I need some brows right now because mine are super canceled out. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill those in, and with the power of editing, it'll be done in 1, 2, 3. Did it work? I bet it worked, didn't it? Alright, so now I'm gonna finish up the lower waterline, and I'm gonna take this Ardency In eyeliner in the shade, I think Smooth Ride. I'm not 100% sure if that's like what the eyeliner's called, but that's the only thing on here I see that looks remotely like a shade name. I'm gonna line my waterline with this. But it's just this greeny gold kind of eyeliner. And I am gonna take it a little bit under so I can smudge it out. I'm gonna take the shade Credit and start working that on the outer edge and smudging out that shade. Then on a slightly fluffier brush, I'm gonna take the shade Supreme and just kind of run that along the lower part where I put that brown, and just really smoke out the lower lash line. Alright, so I feel like I really need to add some warmth back into my skin, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start bronzing my face up, and not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna pack on the bronzer. And then for blush, I'm taking my Burt's Bees Bare Peach blush. Now going back into the palette, I'm gonna take the shade Soleil, I think, and highlight my brow bone. And I'm gonna take that same shade and put it in my inner corner. And I'm gonna kind of drag it up a little bit and connect it into the green. And then for highlight, I'm taking Ofra's Beverly Hills highlighter, and I'm just going to swirl in this shade and then just dab into the gold one. That's still a little bit icier than I want it to be, so I'm going to take my Gilded Honey from Laura Geller and go over that. Go ahead and put mascara on my lower lashes. I'm just taking my Bite Beauty Gloss in the shade Flat White and just Alright, so this is the end of the video. It just is a little recap of what we've used in this video. I totally 100% recommend the Jackie Aina palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It is such a beautiful palette, and you can get so many different looks out of this palette. So definitely pick it up if you're interested in it. And then as far as the primer and the foundation, I definitely want to test these out. I might actually do a different video on these completely. Initially, off my first impression, I'm not like a huge fan of how it's settled around my nose and mouth. But I think if I use different primers and I went in like a sponge, which is the way I typically go in with Luminous foundations anyways, I think I would like it better. So yeah, those I'm not saying are bad, because I do like them in certain spots, but I definitely think that I need to play with it a little bit more before I can give you guys a full opinion on it. Alright, so thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up, and make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my other future uploads, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.